Now we know that you love the Kia EV9 concept car. I mean, with its 7 seats, suicide doors and sparkly lights, who wouldn't? So how do you fancy seeing the actual top secret production version? The one we're going to be able to buy. Because it's just in there. Come on. I've been doing this job for years and I still get so excited when I get to see a new car. And here it is, production ready and actually pretty similar to the concept car, the Kia EV9. I'm getting a sneaky first look before it gets revealed to the public in April. And here are my 9 things that you need to know about the 9. So let's get one thing cleared up straight away. Remember the doors. Yes, those doors. Cool, weren't they? But sadly, although probably not surprisingly, they have gone, made way for something a little more traditional with lovely pop-out handles. I'm a little bit sad about that, but it just wasn't meant to be. So instead we get nice, practical, wide doors, which actually aren't too heavy and open up to a really good angle, which is going to make it easy to get everyone in and out, which is exactly what you want when you can fit up to 5 adults here in the back. Big in here, isn't it? But then you'd expect it to be, because this is a 6-seater, but there is also, of course, the option to configure it for 7. You get a bench seat in the middle row. Now, one of the questions we get asked loads at electrifying.com is, which 7-seat electric cars do you recommend? Until now, we've really only been able to suggest the Model X, which tops £100,000 and is virtually impossible to get hold of, or the Rivian R1S, which of course you have to be in the US to buy. There's also the Citroën Berlingo, which though is basically a van with windows and will not make your children happy, or the Mercedes EQB, which has a back seat that's really only suitable for younger children, unlike this back seat, which is actually really comfortable with decent headroom. I know I'm quite small, but I've just sat in the back with 3 6-foot colleagues and there was room for all of us in here. So the EV9 definitely fills a void in the market, and it also has a party trick. Look at this. If you opt for the 2 individual seats, as you can see, they rotate. So all the passengers in the back can face each other. It's absolutely brilliant for family days out. It doesn't quite have a table for you to use for picnics, but this centre console down here, if I reach in, it has a little table that slides out in the middle. It's just a fantastic feature. Behind the back row of seats, you'll find an okay-ish size boot, but the seats do all fold flat. But it also does have a frunk large enough to carry more than just charging cables, so it is very practical too. And yes, I know the interior is very grey, but I have been assured that there will be some more interesting colour palettes to choose from when it goes on sale. Now, of course, it's different in here to the concept. Again, not surprisingly. It doesn't have that full-on floating dash that the concept had, but it does have a really modern, spacious feel in here. And I do really like the flat floor with this useful storage bin down there and this central console. You also don't get the spokeless Tesla-esque yoke steering wheel from the concept, but you do get a nice new one which houses all the driving modes, exactly where the driver needs to be, very sensible, and will be seen across all of Kia's electric models going forwards. And in keeping with that sustainable feel, the interior is vegan and leather free. And in fact, leather won't be used on any of Kia's models from now on. The plastics in here are mainly used from recyclable plastics, from things like plastic bottles and old fishing nets, whilst even the foam inside the seats, which incidentally are really comfortable, is made from oils using natural products. Now, it might not get the doors, but the production version does keep the sparkly stars. Officially called a star map, the LED design, which can be changed from the interior, is something new that's going to become a familiar sight on other models going forward. On the production versions, it will feature here. We haven't got it on this one because this is a pre-production version, and the lights will be little LEDs behind laser cuts into the panel here. They can be operated from the interior and changed to suit your mood, and they're a really nice feature. Also carried over to the production model are the distinctive pixelated lighting patterns on the front grille and those vertical matrix headlights. Now, the roofline is now lower than the concept, which does make it more aero-friendly, while the front end has Kia's signature tiger nose graphic, and I love the fact that there is no fake grille, just solid colour, while those vertical headlamps and the slim daytime running lights make it seem wider than it really is. The massive 22-inch wheels of the concept have been swapped for a rather more modest 21s, but the design of the rims does reflect those on the concept. And the rims will be, once again, on all electric models going forward and will help to enhance aero and efficiency. Now, we have a charging port, but Kia is still being a little bit coy when it comes to batteries. But I've been doing some sums and I've worked out the size, I think. So given that it will apparently take 6 minutes to add 60 miles of range at a high-speed charger, similar to the 4.5 minutes the EV6 takes to do the same at a 350 kilowatt charger, that would suggest that this car will have a battery capacity of around 100 kilowatt hours. And I don't think I'm far off the mark to say that we'll see both two-wheel and all-wheel drive models in the UK. So in terms of range, Kia is aiming for 337 miles, slightly more than the rear-wheel drive 77.4 kilowatt-hour EV6, which gives 328 miles. Efficiency, it's going to be an interesting one, isn't it, given the fact that this is a big, tall load lugger. But Kia does make pretty efficient cars, and it will be interesting to see what they've managed to do with this. As I've mentioned, charging will be fast if you can get the right charger, and that's thanks to Kia's 800-volt electrical system. I drive around the UK in my electric car loads and often use the public charging network, and I know that the ability to add ranging quickly is just a saving grace at times. It's a feature that I really like, and I think it's a real strong selling point for this car. Now, the 9 is also capable of receiving over-the-air updates, which is a first for Kia, and it also gets something called feature-on-demand services. So this basically means that customers can choose the features they want and have them added remotely to their car. Heated seats or parking sensors, for example. Everything will be fitted, but you have to pay to activate the services you want. And the really interesting thing comes when you want to sell the car. You see, they might not be transferable and the new buyer may have to pay for them all over again. There's been loads of talk about this in the industry. So Fisker are going to do the same with its cars, and BMW said last year that it was planning to charge down the line for things like automatic main beams or heated seats. Now, it's certainly controversial and it does divide opinion. So what do you think? Are you with the 85% of electrifying.com visitors who absolutely hate the idea? Or do you think it's actually quite cool to be able to pay for what you want? Do let us know in the comments below. This is the most technologically advanced Kia ever built, and it's going to get something called Auto Mode, the company's upcoming autonomous driving system. Now, that combines a range of driving technologies and smart safety systems that includes something called highway driving pilot that works by itself without driver intervention. It will all be improved as technology develops via over-the-air updates, and it does seem like it's going to offer level 3 self-driving capability, which is currently on offer from only a couple of brands, Tesla being one of them. The EV9 may be large, but it will be no slouch when it comes to performance. 0 to 60 will take around 5 seconds. Not dissimilar to the EV6 all-wheel drive, which takes 5.2. Pretty good for its size. And yes, for those of you that love those 2 letters, there will be a GT version around a year after launch. No figures on that one yet. Although I really can't think why you would want a family car like this to go any faster than 5 seconds to 60. And so we come to the big one, price. Now the first customers will get their cars at the end of 2023 in the UK, and they will come with Kia's brilliant 7-year 100,000 mile warranty as standard. So what will they cost? Well, not quite £10,000 a seat, not for the entry-level model anyway. You can expect that to start in the low £60,000 bracket. More for the dual motor all-wheel drive version, and more if you want all that cutting-edge autonomous tech. However, I'm going to caveat that by pointing out that although this is new territory for Kia, I do think they're going to win over customers who may have been in the market for a larger Audi or BMW SUV, and I do not think those customers will be disappointed. And then there is the fact that Kias do hold their value well. Unlike some brands, yes, I'm looking at you, Tesla, Kia does look after its residual values, so it's going to be very interesting to see how the monthly payments stack up. So that's my 9 about the 9. What do you think about the Kia EV9? Any surprises, or is it just what you were hoping for? Do let me know in the comments below, and of course like and subscribe so you know when our first drive video of this car has landed. And if you want to know more about going electric, please head over to electrifying.com.